Welcome to Raw Take, everyone, the lifeline to your unfiltered media experience. I'm your host, Gian Thomas, and this is my co-host, D. Williams.
That's right. Listen, before we get started, just want to let everyone know that the purpose for this video is to be informative and to give our raw take opinions on different news and events.
And so right before we start our show, I want to talk about the recent lynchings that have been happening. I know some people will try and call them suicidal deaths, but I mean, you can't automatically say that they're a suicide when you haven't even like tried to do an investigation. You know, sometimes this stuff needs deep investigations. You have to ask questions. You know, we need real policing, and I don't think the cops are doing it. Every time a person is, I mean, this is 2020, and black people don't just hang themselves, especially in public. That's not a thing that happens. So for this to just keep on happening, I think this needs to be brought to everyone's attention. We need to talk about this. We need to get this out. I mean, this is horrible. This is tragic. So, uh, prayers to the young man who just passed away. Monday they had a man found in Houston who was found hung. So, or lynched, because I believe that man was lynched because his family came out and said that he had no history of suicidal thoughts. But just prayers to all these families, prayers for our country. But let's get on to the show, guys.
Yeah.
One of the things, speaking of all this crazy stuff, there was a female cop who didn't get her food on time, and she literally broke down. She, they're calling her Karen the cop because she just started breaking down because at first she said that she felt like it was taking them too long, and so she rode up to the front, and then uh this young girl brought her out her coffee but not her food, and then she just said, well, you can just keep the food. Instead of me trying to explain it, let's play this clip.
So I go to the second window to get my food, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And so the girl comes to the window and asks me what my order was. I repeat my order and my coffee order, and they ask me to pull up because my food's not ready. It's an English muffin meal with a hash brown and coffee. And I mean, I hadn't eaten since probably I've been up for a very long time, but I haven't eaten in a while, so I was kind of hungry. And I'm still waiting, and I'm still waiting, and they asked me to pull up. So I pull up forward, and a girl comes out with my coffee, and just the coffee, and she hands it to me, and I have my window down, and that's all she hands me is the coffee. So I told her, I said, don't bother with the food because right now I'm too nervous to take it. It doesn't matter how many hours I've been up. It doesn't matter what I've done for anyone. Right now I'm too nervous to take a meal from McDonald's because I can't see it being made. I don't know what's going on with people nowadays, but please, just give us a break. Please just give us a break. I don't know how much more I can take. I've been in this for 15 years, and I've never, ever had such anxiety about waiting for McDonald's drive-thru food. So just have a heart, and if you see an officer, just tell them thank you, because I don't hear thank you.
So, guys, as we can see, she's crying because she feels disrespected. She feels like I feel like she would not have been crying if they would have gave her her food. I mean, sometimes you have to understand like they could have been busy inside. I mean, I think this just goes to show how privileged she is. This is the definition of privilege of a white woman and privilege of a cop. You know, I mean, you
Mhm.
broke down and started crying because I mean, they could have been bringing out her food, but she didn't even, they could have been bringing out her coffee first, and then her food came out. That has happened to plenty of people before. I don't know. I
Yeah.
I just I don't get it. This entitlement, it shouldn't be like this. It's it's oh my god, it just works on my nerves.
Yeah. I think, there's been plenty of times where I went to McDonald's and even sitting in the line or at the window, you're gonna get your drink first. You always get your drink first.
Exactly.
Um, and they brought her the drink, so I'm sure the food was following. And if they were busy inside, that would explain why it would take a long time. And then sometimes I think, they're human too, so sometimes they may get some things mixed up or get backed up. And guess what happens? They get stressed as well on the job. And I think that as a cop, I think that, from a cop's point of view, from her point of view, I get it. At the same time, this is not the right time to be throwing a self-pity party if you're a cop. This is just a really bad time for that because right now cops are not in the in that certain place that they think that they should be on or that they're used to being in amongst the citizens, So you can expect to be treated with the utmost respect because for one, the people has not been getting the utmost respect from the police. So for her to throw a
Exactly.
self-pity party at this very moment is just a really bad time, and to me, it kind of made her look like a fool because here you are throwing a pity party because you didn't get your food in time, but you got the whole world full of citizens that's scared to call you out because they're scared for their lives. You don't know, you don't know if you're gonna get shot or beat to death, or you might get a knee on your neck by the cops.
Exactly.
So what room does any cop have right now to complain or to throw pity parties or whatever, or feel you know bad about anything right now? And bad about how people may treat them right now. They actually, I feel like a cop should expect it because I think it was
Yeah.
said in one of the other shows by Rush. Right now, police has to earn the respect of the public again,
Exactly.
and right now is they don't have that, so they shouldn't expect to have it.
Exactly. They need to
We
stop
know, we
demanding
know,
respect.
yeah, we know that every cop is not a bad cop, but we also know that every cop is not a good cop, and so they need to understand
Exactly.
how the public feel. And now I don't agree with stereotyping or treating every cop as though every cop has something to do with what's going on in the world today with the police brutality on black people. But um, I do understand it because we're angry.
Yeah.
We have a right to be angry.
Exactly.
Yep.
I just feel as though, I mean, you saw with the New York cop, the New York Union cop, he was demanding respect. She
Yeah.
demanded respect. And there's a lot of people who appreciate the cops, but that doesn't mean that they are entitled to be treated a certain way. I mean, she even talked about in the video how she could have got her food for free. I mean, there's a certain level of entitlement that police officers and some white people have, and it, it's not until they don't get their way or things don't go exactly how they want. and then bam, that they either break down, start crying, need a safe play, safe space, or they shoot you, like with the
Yeah.
like. I mean, it's just, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
So in the case of the Rashard Brooks shooting, there's no one there's everybody knows that the cop who shot him was a bad apple. It, this man had so many complaints. I mean, the complaints he had 12 complaints. I think he had an
Wow.
excessive force complaint in 2016 or 2017. It was either one of those 2 years, but it and people will say, well, you can't believe what a criminal will say, but I mean, for this many complaints, and not everybody's a criminal. Not everybody who has an interaction with a cop is a criminal, you
Right.
know. So, but for this man to have that many complaints, and the attorney general or the that's exactly why the the chief stepped down, because she knew this guy was bad, and so she
Mm.
stepped down, so she couldn't have any of the blame. I mean, just cowardly. I can't believe. And you know what? I was like, dang, she stepped down real fast. But of course she stepped
Hmm.
down real fast. It's because she knew this guy was bad, had all these complaints. There's probably even more complaints than this. This is probably just the ones that made it to her death.
Right. Um, yeah, I was looking at that too. Like, yeah, she did step down kind of immediately and tried to, say it was for some other reason. But the truth is, she didn't want that heat to fall on her because for one, she shouldn't have had that bad apple out there
Exactly.
and, put him behind the desk. You know what I'm saying? He definitely shouldn't have had a gun and being out in the public. And when stuff like that, you let slip by, um, then you have situations like what happened.
Yeah.
Um, you have a hothead out there with a gun ready to shoot, and his target just happened to be, I don't know about his past complaints, but this one was, he added on to, um, I'm gonna call it the movement of killing black people.
Yeah.
Because that's how I see it. He added to it. He was like, "Oh, well, there go one, pow."
Yeah. Target
Um,
practice.
that's exactly why us as black people, we have to be careful right now of what we say, what we do towards the police, because we all have a target on us right now. It could be anybody. Um, and so with this chief of police and sending this bad apple out there, these are the kind of things that we need to have a system in play that would help prevent stuff like this happening, help prevent those bad apples getting put out in the public to and not to protect and serve the community, but to terrorize and kill the community is what they should say for bad apples like that. But stuff like that has to cease happening, because if it doesn't, then we're going to continue to see these killings, and eventually people are going to start retaliating with more killings of police,
Exactly.
just like a similar story
I
that
mean, you can't. Oh,
yeah, a similar story that we actually have in this particular show, um, that we're going to talk about.
you can't just keep on killing people and not expect a reaction to happen. You keep doing that, you're going to have a reaction. And then
Mm,
you have these bad actors out here that are trying to push the envelope and make something bad happen. I
yeah,
mean, I don't know if anybody really heard about it, but an Air Force security officer was behind the shooting of a law enforcement officer during a protest. Now, a lot of people thought that this guy was shot by a black guy or a Black Lives Matter movement protester or even an Antifa member. But it was none of those. It was a cop. First of all, it was a Air Force security officer cop. He was a cop.
Yeah,
Stephen Carillo. He killed David. The man's name was David Under, and it was during the Oakland protest. It just, and this guy had ties to far right terrorist groups and called the Bungalow Boys. So
yeah,
there's just, this guy even had Facebook posts talking about it. I I just don't understand. Where's the vetting? How does the military have somebody like this operating in their ranks? How do you not get this? How do you not get this person out? It took the. uh, how is his Facebook not being looked at? I mean, I thought the military watched their personnel's Facebooks. I thought they oversaw things like that. I mean, that's what my friends tell me who were in the military. So, or how do you not see this guy radicalizing like this? How do you not see him interacting with these radical groups? It's just I feel like this. I feel like they turn a blind eye to racism because our president turns a blind eye to racism. I don't think that's a coincidence. I really honestly don't think it's coincidence. I mean, and this guy killed two cops. I mean, this guy is a cop killer, and you don't hear nobody talking about this. Yet Antifa, they will threaten you and fearmonger over Antifa and Black Lives Matter when you have the Bungalow Boys out there shooting people, shooting cops, killing cops. This guy done killed two cops, and who's to say that there's not other provocators? That these are not the provocators that are making the protests unsafe. This is exactly what this could be. But
yeah,
no real investigation is going to go into this. It's horrible.
yeah. You're right. And this is basically he's military police, but this is basically one of their own targeting cops. And the fact that you know who they thought it was in the first, at first, kind of I don't know. It kind of paints the picture that we've been talking about in the last few shows. The fact that um, just like provocateurs and everything, we are made to look like we're the enemy,
Yeah.
even when we're not. And I think that the word embarrassment is a factor in this whole situation with him because yeah, you wanted you probably wanted it to be one of us. However, guess what? No, it was one of your own. So now what? What do you have to say now? Um, when the violence turned towards them by one of them, uh, you know, it doesn't make me happy, but it does make me happy that it wasn't one of us,
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
then, their suspicion or whatever, or accusation or whatever would have been true. So I'm glad that it wasn't a black man. Not to say I'm not saying that I'm glad that it happened. I'm just glad that it wasn't a black person.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because it brings down the movement and it brings down what we're trying to do. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of older white people, the racist ones, they believe that black people getting equality is them losing equality, which, that has nothing to do. Like, equality is not a measure that, if the black people get all the equality measure, then I lose my equality. No, that's not how it works. We just want to be treated equally. We just want to be treated right. We just want to live our
Right.
lives and not get shot. I mean, that shouldn't that shouldn't that shouldn't have to be something we ask for. There was a video that LeBron showed of a little boy who hid behind of like his mother's car when a cop passed by. And that is what you're taught. That is how you feel. That's how I felt. That's what I
Wow.
did when I was a kid. That is stuff that people do because people don't trust the cops. I mean,
Wow.
it's just crazy. And the thing is, these the Bungalow Boys, what they want to do is start a race war. And so I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they are very happy at what is happening right now in America. I mean,
Yeah. I'm sure they are too. And I just want to let it be known that this guy um of the Bungalow Boys, Stephen, he has nothing to do or is not tied or linked to any of the black movements as far as Black Lives Matter um is concerned. He is not tied to that. He was basically acting on his own,
yeah,
um, but acting also as part of the Bungalow Boys. Yeah, so I just want that to be known that no, this is not an act orchestrated by the black community or
exactly,
cops.
exactly. And you seen that video? It's all over the place. There's so many provocators
Yes,
just
there is.
trying to take away from what we're really trying to do. And but with all this, we've had a little bit of progress. Donald Trump signs a new executive order to reform the police.
Yeah,
Um, in this reform, he talks about creating a database so we can have bad cops go on this database. He talked about no more chokeholds unless a cop's life is in danger. He also talked about having um, service members, social workers come out to uh, domestic calls. So, like little disturbances and stuff like that, and mental health and things of that nature. So, cops don't always have to respond to these things because, cops have a history of using deadly force. So, I think all of these things are good. These are half measures, though. I mean, I have to
yeah,
be. This does not address the inherent racism in the system of policing. It just doesn't address that. So I mean, this will put a damper on it, but ultimately it does not go far enough, and it also gives incentives to cops. It gives incentives really for cops to act right. So if they do de-escalation training and things of that nature, they get incentive. So you're giving them more money to do their job. I don't
yeah,
understand that concept. I mean, I know cops get a thankless job, but there's a lot of thankless jobs. I mean, the garbage man, that's a that's one hell of a job. You without garbage disposal, we don't have anything. So, I don't see people thanking the garbage man. I mean, so there's a lot of thankless jobs, and this goes
yeah,
back to the story with the girl crying. Sometimes you have thankless jobs, but you it's part of life. There's a lot of people who don't get their due thanks, but you have
yeah.
to keep on moving.
Let me tell you about this order that the president signed. I think that it's a good order. I don't think it's good enough. Um, but it's a start. However, I
Yeah,
see a potential problem with this order. Um, he wants to ban the stronghold unless an officer's life is in danger. Now, to me, this creates a problem because uh, what's to stop a cop from killing again and then reporting that they felt like their life was in danger?
exactly.
It's kind of like now you have a justifiable reason to kill and just write it off as, oh, I was scared for my life, so I killed them before they killed me. I see that turning into that particular kind of problem because Um, as of right now, they didn't really go towards I felt my life was in danger, so I killed him. But now they're gonna have a way out.
Yeah,
And I think that maybe some people may not be looking at that fact that now they have a way out uh, when they kill someone unjustifiably. So what are we gonna do in that case? See, there's
yeah,
nothing for that. This order is great, but as I said, there is a major potential problem. There's a loophole right there. And in my opinion, I think that every loophole needs to be filled, every I needs to be dotted, every T needs to be crossed. Otherwise, we're just going to be opening up another door for the cops to get away with police brutality against black people.
exactly. I didn't, you know what, to be honest with you, I didn't even think about it like that. Because you know what? They always use that excuse. They always, I was in fear of my life. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what the officer that killed Rashid Brooks, that's what he said. His life was in danger. So, you
Right.
know, it's already, it's, you see, like you said, there's already all these holes in it. And that's why he probably said that he wanted Congress to create a law, which you know they are. Representative Scott in the Senate, he's trying to come up with a bill. But I mean, I think we're all these are all still half measures. We're not
Yes.
getting down to the we're not vetting, we're not picking, we need to pick and choose who we let become cops, because becoming a cop, you're upholding the law. Like I've been saying on the show, you it shouldn't take you 4 to 6 months to become a cop. It just shouldn't. I'm sorry. You know,
Yeah.
I know people who go to school so they could police better. I knew several people like that. So we definitely need to, we need to push. We need to keep on pushing. We need to keep on protesting, because at the end of the day, this is the first step. This is not the end though. This is not the end all be all. We need to keep
Yeah.
on pressuring them to keep on going forward.
And
But
I want to know what's going to be done to get rid of the already bad seeds that are in the police departments. Um, with this order, yeah, that's fine or whatever for police officers that's coming in or whatever, but the ones that's already set in, what is going to really be done to weed out them? And then, are they going to be terminated or are they going to be refined? Are they, because I think that just like the officer that shot Rashad, I think that an officer like that needs to be fired and not rehireable in no other um, city or state as a police officer, because um, he can go and get, a cop like that can go get counseling and therapy and all of that, but that's not guaranteed to change a person.
exactly,
You can go along with that and then, finish that and go and do the same thing over again.
exactly. Be
So I
right back.
think it needs to be something set in stone that, an order set in stone that would stop that from happening, because that's what's been happening for years. You become known as a bad cop in this city or that city, just move to the next one. They don't know you. And that's what's been happening. And that's where we need to stop. And they need to implement some kind of a program within the police force that's already in existence, and just come up with a way to get those bad cops out of that department or out of any department.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
yeah,
they should have like mandatory, like you have three violations, three bad complaints, three excessive force complaints, you're done. Like already,
yeah,
like if you have that many, that's one too many. I mean, that's three too many. I mean, we have the three strikes rule. Why can't they get a three strikes rule? I mean,
yeah. So
that's
I know that they're gonna be looking into cops that has like complaints and everything. But What I didn't get was what are the actions that they're going to actually take with those cops? Are they going to try to, you know, put them in therapy, or are they going to fire them? I wasn't really clear on what they're going to do to the cops that does have a bad rep.
because they don't know either. They didn't come up with that idea yet. They just it came out kind of fast, and I believe the Trump team doesn't have any real policy advisors of real any substance. So I feel like they just threw something together. They threw a lot of things that the big things that people were asking for, like the no chokeholds and excessive for stuff like that.
Yeah,
They
I
just
guess
want
to
to
temporarily
cover
shut
them.
people up,
Yeah, exactly,
that's
exactly.
not going to work. See, that don't even work with me because I already see the loophole in this order that he signed in the first place. And I'm hoping that everybody sees it. I'm hoping that a lot of people who may have not even thought of it that way gets to see this video and hear our take on it because um, we need to be aware. We need to not settle.
Yeah,
We can't have him give us a little bit because it's what we asked for, and cause us to overlook the entirety of what we asked for and why we asked for it. Um, so we can't let ourselves be blinded by um, a small percentage of generosity um, because that's not good enough. You can't basically buy our silence or buy, make us happy with just little gesture that you're doing because it does not answer the whole call. It does not um, give a full solution on what's going on. To me, it doesn't even start to give a solution. It actually adds on to the problem.
yeah,
That's how I see it.
yeah. Mm. Just like anything in a Trump administration, it doesn't address anything really. It's just a bunch of half measures, and it opens up loopholes for things to get worse. You see that with the tax cuts. It's just this is his pattern. He has a pattern of doing this, and so with a pattern of doing bad things, um, North Korea blew up the liaison building. The liaison building was made in 2018 and is where North Korea and South Korea held their talks. And it's where Donald Trump went to. I think that's where he symbolically crossed over into North Korea. And so the the judgment came down from his sister. She made a thread on Twitter to blow it up, and then a couple of days later, it was blown up. Um, a lot of people are saying that North Korea had a real reason to do this because South Korea and America haven't come together to really take any of the sanctions they have on North Korea. And so, North Korea, they have people that are starving, and now the business owners are starting to starve because the sanctions are so tight. So they blew it up as a way to, I guess, get attention like a baby. So
Yeah,
I mean, to me that's so crazy. But I mean, I guess when your people are at their brink, and you have people. I guess they have people dying in the streets. You never ever really know what's happening in North Korea because they're called the hermit nation for a reason because they keep themselves so isolated. So you don't know what's happening with the people.
until they
It's
blow up
honestly,
something.
yeah, it's really sad, to be honest. But I just don't see them acting out this way. It doesn't help them. I guess it kind of draws attention to it, but then once people, because North Korea already doesn't have a good name, so you already don't have a good name, and now you're blowing up liaison buildings. You just automatically look like the bad guy.
Right. I don't think they even probably realize that. and that's not the response that they were going for. I think that they should have thought it through because it's like they had a temper tantrum, with the current situations that's going on in the world with COVID-19 as well as the current racism going on. Um, I think they felt a little bit overlooked, as in having their issue looked into or whatever. So, well, they're not paying us attention, so let's blow up the liaison building. Then they'll listen, But what kind of attention you think you're gonna get by blowing up the liaison building? You're not gonna get the positive feedback that you want, because like you said just now, that just makes you look even more so like the bad guy.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, you are the bad guy if you're doing stuff like that, especially just to get attention. Um, so to me, I see North Korea, yeah, as this big crying baby.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, that was like a childish thing to do, to blow up a building because you're not getting the attention that you want, or that you feel like you need. Being at the end of your rope or not, um, taking those kind of drastic actions does not solve the problem.
It doesn't. But you know what else this shows? This shows how much power his sister has. I mean, for her to make a threat like
Yeah.
that and then it to happen a couple of days later, she is really flexing her muscle in North Korea. So she's anchoring herself as, like, if anything ever happens with my brother, because he did have that scare a couple of months ago. I mean, she's really anchoring herself where she can be, I am the next leader. I am willing to make the hard decisions. I am willing to, kill some people, blow some things up. She's saying I am not to be taken lightly. So,
Hmm.
it's, that whole entire family, I guess they breed them at birth to just be senseless, monstrous killers. And just, whenever you feel weak, just show your fangs.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and right now she's looking pretty powerful over there.
Yeah.
Um, man, that's a scary situation. Um, it makes me be thankful that I'm not there or from there, you know.
Right? As bad as we have it in America, to
You
be
blowing
born,
up buildings in your own country, somebody gonna get hurt.
yeah.
Your
Oh, they
own
don't.
people gonna get hurt.
Yeah, they don't care. They
You
don't care,
know,
man.
the proof is in the actions too.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever heard, but one of the stories they had was they launched Kim Jong Un launched his uncle in a missile up into the sky and blew it up.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah,
Jeez,
man,
that's a lot of.
that's a real life story. So if y'all want to go out there and check it out and go listen to that or go read that's a real life story. It's something you would see in a cartoon, and he honestly did it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that on is there a video of that, or of course
I
not of
don't
the footage, but of the story, or is it just an article or what?
know. I mean, I think there's an article, but I'm pretty sure there's a video. I'm pretty sure there's video. Probably like no news media has it, but I'm pretty sure he has a video. And probably when he's down, he probably just puts that on. He watches it 1,000 times. That's crazy, man.
That is sick, man.
Yeah.
That's sick. Um, oh my God, I'm just picturing that in my mind right now. Um, that's like something you see on a movie, man.
Yeah, man, that's something you literally see in a cartoon, and he did
Yeah,
it
I
real
didn't
life.
know about that. I'm definitely gonna look into that. And if I find anything, I'll put a link in the description, for
Yeah.
any of you guys who are interested in reading about that or whatever is available. If you're interested in knowing about that, I'll definitely try and put a link in the description for that.
Exactly, y'all. So, guys, that's our show. But before we go, I want to talk about one thing. I want to talk about Governor Greg Abbott and how much of a dope he is, because this man is blaming us millennials for the coronavirus numbers going up when he started to open up the Texas at more than 25% in the first week. So he's deferring the blame to us because he made the worst decision ever to open up Texas. I mean, anybody with a functioning working brain knew that opening up Texas as soon as possible was the worst idea ever. And for him to divert blame to us, it just boils my blood, and I just, oh my God, it just makes me so angry because just what, he's not a true leader. We have no true leaders in government. All these guys do is divert the blame from themselves and point the finger at somebody else. I mean, you can't even take responsibility for your own decision. So you blame it on us because it's always the millennials' problem. We are the scapegoat of our generation, guys. I mean, it's the millennials' fault, Generation Z fault. Whatever. I just had to get that out, man.
Yeah,
Because
well, you know what? They have the perfect role model or example to follow because Trump does the same thing. He blames everything on everybody else, um,
exactly,
instead of taking, responsibility for his own actions. So, Abbott is just following the leader.
yeah,
Yeah. And reopening the country, I mean, reopening Texas like that too soon. What did he expect? The coronavirus was, even now to this day, is still not controlled. So, uh, basically, he asked for it. So he has no one to blame but himself. He had full discretion of whether or not he was going to, open the state back up, and he chose to open it. So, like I said before, money isn't everything.
yeah,
You can have the economy getting back on track, but have people losing their lives. So the more lives is making money and building a strong economy is not more important than the people's lives that's in that economy.
exactly.
People and our officials need to see that, but they don't. All they see is green.
Yep, yep. Money has blinded them. But yeah. So all right, guys. I want everybody to like that button. This is our first month. We just had our first month on YouTube, guys, and the
Yeah,
numbers
yeah,
are amazing. Y'all are sharing the mess out of our videos, and I love it. Y'all keep sharing the
yeah,
videos, keep liking, keep subscribing. We're almost at 100, guys. We're 13 away. We are 13 away. We are climbing there fast. So let's keep it going. Let's keep the growth going. Thank y'all so much.
yeah.
It's
Thank you
because of
guys.
y'all we're able to do this, guys. It's because of y'all.
Yes.